Florida missed the playoffs by 7 points last season. Playing in his 870th regular season game tonight, Bobby Lou knows it's a long road. But he and the Panthers hope this time around postseason play is in the cards when the dust settles. Trevor Van Riemsdyk got his first taste of the second season during his rookie campaign. But with a big piece missing on the back end for a long stretch, he and his fellow Blue Liners will need to step it up in order for the Hawks to stay the course. Blackhawks hockey on CSN, brought to you by Dairy Queen, as the Blackhawks are back on home ice tonight in the greatest city in the world. In the middle of a 4-game homestand. Tonight they're looking to get above 500, taking on a good starting Florida Panthers team. Welcome in, everybody. Pat Foley, glad to have you with us for Chicago Blackhawks hockey. And you know there's been some really bad news away from the ice surface for the Chicago Blackhawks. Their best defenseman unavailable now for at least a month. A two-time Norris Trophy winner, a Conn Smythe winner, and the Hawks said he plays big minutes. He's led him in ice time for 10 minutes, Eddie Olczyk. They've never had to deal with this. Look at that last line. He's only missed 20 games in 10 years. So now your best player, best defenseman at least, unavailable for a month plus. How do you deal with that?
Well, it's going to be by committee on the back end, Pat. I don't think there's any doubt about that, but I think it's got to be a team effort. I think the forwards really got to help the defense. You have to insulate the defense. You got a lot of inexperience on the back end. I'm sure these defensive pairs will change. They might change after the first period. We know Joel Quenneville, but not a lot of experience with TVR and Victor Svedberg. You got a lot of experience on the third pair there with Trevor Daley and David Rundblad. So how consistent they go, the forwards really have to do a good job. And as far as Duncan Keith, Pat, that is a big set of skates to try and fill. So it's going to have to be by committee. And the Blackhawks were already in a tough spot with that number 4 position on the back end. So now that hole got even a little bit bigger. So now it's just about maintaining and getting some help from the forwards.
All right, tonight they'll be challenged by a Florida team that's on the come. They were 25 points better last year than the previous season. A lot of good young talent here, some good veterans too. But one of the young guys to pay attention to is the Rookie of the Year from a year ago.
Well, Aaron Ekblad is the real deal, Pat. He's got great size and 6'4". He's right-handed. He can shoot. He has a little bit of bite to his game. He's one of those type of players that you can build around. I'm sure the Florida Panthers will certainly be doing that with Aaron Ekblad. You go from one extreme to the other. The elder statesman in the entire National Hockey League, 43 years and 3/4, Jaromir Jagr, moving up the charts in really every category individually in National Hockey League history. He can still go, Pat, and the one thing that's amazing about Jagr is the puck finds him. Whether he wants it or not, the puck finds Jaromir Jagr.
When does he not want it would be the question. He's been a great star for many, many years, and every time Corey Crawford has played against the Florida Panthers, he's done quite well. He's got a 4-1 record against him, a save percentage of 94. Crawford and the Hawks against the Panthers in a moment. Welcome back to West Madison Street. Here's the Ford starting goaltending matchup. Corey Crawford coming off his best game of the year. 23 shots against Columbus on Saturday. Only one went in. Thought that was his most solid performance of the early going. He'll be opposed tonight by a guy he's seen a lot during his career, Roberto Luongo, who has played every game for the Florida Panthers this season except for one. And that was because it was a back-to-back. Otherwise, he probably would have played every minute of every game. So, see some pretty good numbers for Bobby Lou to start the year. The officials led by Ian Walsh, paired up with Justin St. Pierre, the linesman Brian Pensich, and Brandon Garlitz. So the Jonathan Toews line will open up for Chicago, and what Coach Q likes to call the lottery spot goes to Victor Tikhonov tonight. Toews with Hossa, and Tikhonov is on the left side as we get this one underway.
And this first period of Blackhawk hockey is brought to you by Chevy and ChevyDriveChicago.com.
Toews for Hossa, looking to chip it back to the centerman, but was out of his reach. And Luongo will take a draw. There's Tikhonov getting to the front of the net. Exactly where he needs to go, especially playing with those two guys. And there's the veteran Willie Mitchell and some of the other Panthers trying to make sure nobody gets too near their goalie. But you like to see that for 14 red. You know, first shift, get right to the blue. By the way, your AT&T Uber starting line is going to be found at the top of your screen. The Alexander Barkov line is out there for head coach Gerard Gallant of the Panthers. And a little bit more on Barkov. He's one of the, we told you about Ekblad. Eddie did during the game open tonight. Great young star. This guy Barkov is something else too. They got a few young kids who figure to be terrific players, if not stars, as their careers move along. Mitchell is not a kid. He's got to circle back. 38 years old, Willie Mitchell.
He's young. On the ice with Yager, right?
He is, yeah. Seabrook sends it in. Hanford brings it around the board for Florida. Here comes Dave Bolin. And Smith put it back into Chicago ice. Seabrook has time to look ahead, and Panarin gets the line. Put it across with a long shot. That's blocked by Kulikov. From the Kane attempt, Patrick Kane then had it escape him, and Riley Smith got it out for the visitors, who are trying to change. Svedberg, is all his forwards are leaving too. He had thoughts of going in offensively. He said, whoops, where's all my buddies? Well, the Hawks dump it. There's Trocheck, othered by Desjardins, and Brandon Peary nearly had some problems, but Panthers maintain control. Kulikov sends it deep.
The one thing that the Panthers can do, Pat, is they can push the pace and they can play a fast game. The Blackhawks are going to have to really be aware of the transition game.
And Riemsdyk a long one kicked aside by Luongo. Shaw's in deep. Put it out in front of shot. Desjardins never got to the net. And lines up back at center. Van Riemsdyk looks back to Trevor Daley. And it's cleared to center ice, but picked off there, and Hawks left to turn right back around. Here's Daley, who had an assist Saturday, his first point as a Blackhawk. Now Rundblad put it back the other way. It's going to be ruled offside Chicago, though, so we can tell you, as you enjoy Coleman, look forward to Miller time later in the game. It'll be brought to you by Miller Lite. Now the Panthers coach Gerard Gallant, who was a grinding physical forward in his playing days, and a good guy, has done a good job down with a mostly young Florida team. Yes, they do have some graybeards down there, but we got a lot of young kids that he needs and the coaching staff needs to teach what the NHL game is all about and what to do, what not to do, and it's going to take some time, but I know their general manager, Dale Talon, is very happy with the job Gallant has been doing there the last year plus behind the Florida bench. I mentioned this guy earlier, Barkov. Now, Dale Talon's been around some awfully good players, and he said recently that Alexander Barkov is the best two-way 20-year-old player he has ever seen. Now, when you think about the guys that he dealt with here in Chicago, that is a large statement. You see Jokinen stripped of it by Tikhonov. Here comes Taves, hammering it around, or at least trying to. That hit somebody and bounced out. Hossa steps in. Now Smith, nice touch pass. David Bolin will put it back the other way. Svedberg pressured by UC Jokinen. Support from Hossa. Mitchell has to turn. Panarin trying to bother him. He picked up the puck, but ruled to be offside. And the whistle goes.
Well, the Blackhawks are giving you a chance to own an authentic Blackhawks championship ring. Blackhawks Charities has launched an online raffle for a chance to win an authentic Chicago Blackhawks championship ring engraved with the winner's name. Raffle tickets can be purchased for $2 each through Christmas Day. Visit ChicagoBlackhawks.com for more information.
The draw won by Anisimov, who in the last 2 games has been 17-7 at the dot. Anisimov he's got the puck, looking to drive. He put it forward and scores! Power move from Artem Anisimov. He just walked right around the D, and Luongo tucks it home. It's 1-0.
Well, speed to the outside. The play from Patrick Kane. Watch Anisimov. Goes right around Steven Kampfer. Kulikov doesn't come over to help out, and next thing you know, it's backhand, forehand, and the Hawks with a 1-0 lead. Good power move, and a heck of a play there from Anisimov.
Now the Panthers will send it deep. Pass from Crawford missed. Now Trocheck put it in front. Good coverage on Peary. Stripped away to Rundblad. Now Ekblad. Got it to center. Bjugstad into the Chicago zone. Carried on. Trocheck whiffed on a wrist shot. Came loose to front. A shot and a save by Crawford. It's loose. And they score. Crawford reaching down with his glove. I think felt he might have had it, but it remained loose. It might be Trocheck that poked it in. The Panthers tie the game 34 seconds after the Hawks had grabbed the lead.
Well, the Pittsburgh native finds himself to the front of the net with a battle. There are 3 Blackhawks there. Rundblad's there. Anisimov is there. Daly is there. And Trocheck, I think, pokes that puck in, Pat. Peary was there as well. The puck was just laying there, and a couple of free pops. Good positioning by the official, and a heck of a response there from the Florida Panthers.
Now Svedberg will take a look. Hinostroza had it knocked away. Back come the Panthers. Hinostroza goes around to Seabrook. Teravainen tipped it to Hinostroza, getting into the zone, trying to center it. Garbett with a backhand shot. Luongo steers it aside. Rebound Hinostroza, put it in front. A shot, Garbett. Oh, and Luongo had no idea where the puck had gone. It missed the net. Seabrook here broke his stick, looking for another one for the bench. He gets it. Here come the Panthers, a shot, and it was a good block by Svedberg. Terrific work by the Hawks bench, alertly getting Seabrook a cue to defend. After he had to scurry back when his stick broke in the offensive blue line. Barkov rolled it out to center. Yager steals there. Huberdeau was going to be an offside play, as it took him a while to get into the offensive zone.
We're going to go back to that play by Artem Anisimov. Now, he already goes by the Florida Panthers. There's nobody coming over, right? But I want everybody to keep an eye. Watch what he does with this left knee. Watch what he does here. He sticks his knee out and protects and doesn't allow Kampfer to get that stick all the way over to the puck. So he leans in, he protects the puck with his knee by sticking it out, and that's what allows him to go from backhand to forehand and beat Roberto Luongo. I don't think there's any doubt, Pat, on that play after seeing it a couple of times. Now, Kampfer was looking for a little help.
Oh, for sure.
It was his first game of the year, and he thought probably his partner there, Kulikov. And let's not forget, Kampfer's a right-handed defenseman. He was on the left side of the ice, and vice versa for Kulikov. And Kulikov just did not come over and try to help out, and Anisimov made him pay with just a beautiful power move. That's what you call a power move. Tell you, two-way center iceman there.
Steal Van Riemsdyk to Hossa. Gets in there and pulls up. Looking for the trailer. Able to clear it in deep. Taves to the corner, then Tikhonov. Victor Tikhonov. His pass stolen away by Jonathan Huberdeau. He could only get as far as center. Hjalmarsson. And Reemsdyke, then Desjardins chipped and chased. Going in on Campbell. He left the puck there, and Panthers able to maintain control. Bolin hacked it out. Now Rundblad to Daly to Rundblad. Oops.
David Rundblad's first game since opening night.
Opening night, hasn't played in 2 weeks.
And he was playing in the top 4 that night. He was playing in a second pair.
It's offside as Panthers moved in ahead of the puck, and that's the man credited with the tying goal. Peary after Anisimov had put the Hawks in front.
Thank you very much, Tracy. And you can follow Tracy Myers, our Blackhawks insider, all season long on CSNChicago.com. Presented by Nationwide's Jeff Vukovich. Click jeffvuk.com. That's jeffvuk.com. Nationwide, yes, is on your side.
Big 27 white is Nick Bjugstad. They're going to need a good year from him. But he's just coming off back surgery. Had off-season back surgery. Has not been as impressive in the early going as they are hoping for. But I think that's going to take some time. I mean, I don't know if anybody's dealt with back surgery, but everything I hear about it, it's not too pleasant and not easy to get back to 100%. Here's a steal, and Kane had too many sticks there, couldn't pry it loose. Peary hoisting it the other way. Bjugstad to Trocheck down low. Hedberg there to meet him and kicked it to Seabrook. Hedberg took some contact on the board, but he, with help, able to hold on to the puck. Anisimov around to Seabrook.
That was a good hit there from Connor Brickley. That was college hockey at Vermont.
Well, the Panthers try to dump it. It comes right back to Willie Mitchell, though, and then he gave it away. Good read by Garvin. He stole it, but then his pass attempt didn't work. And Rundblad scurries back. Daly, plenty of time to take a look. Hinostroza is going to get the line. Vincent Hinostroza, he's looked to drive, and a short side save by Luongo. Holding on.
Nice little power move there from the Chicago native. There was some room on that short side. Good idea there from Hinostroza on the backhand. Looks like Luongo goes down a little bit early from our vantage point, and look at that. He was down early there, and there was some room upstairs. Look at all that space right there. Unfortunately for Hinostroza, he wasn't able to throw those hands up towards the crossbar a little bit earlier, but I think Luongo anticipating a low shot or a pass from left to right.
Hjalmarsson's shot redirected by Tikhonov, didn't miss by much. Hjalmarsson dumping it in. Tikhonov's pass bounced up high, came down to Huberdeau. Barkov could only get to center. Now Hjalmarsson. Kulikov missed on a pass, going to go all the way down, icing Panthers.
You know, Pat, you know, Tracy was talking about, you know, the line and looking for that guy to play with Toews and Hossa. Is there anybody that's, do you think that has stuck out when they've been with that line? Look, they've had, I mean, we've had how many, 7 or 8 guys? Yeah. I mean, is there anybody in your eyes that you kind of felt that, you know, made a dent?
No.
Okay.
I mean, not to me. I think there's been a couple of games where the guy that was there, you know, played all right. Yeah. Like, I mean, we talked about it before we started tonight. I mean, I didn't think Brian Bickle was bad the other day.
Yeah.
But
I actually like how he finished up in Washington, and then he played that game the next night at home, or 2 nights later. And I actually thought he did I thought he did a good job there. But it is it's a hole, and it's an opportunity for somebody there, without question.
All right, Jokinen sends it deep. Daly pressured by Smith, who's tripped him, centered it. Oh, the pass at the feet of Jokinen. They would have had a point-blank chance. Now the Panthers Jokinen threw it in front. That goes all the way the other side. Ekblad kept it in. Now down low, Jokinen. Met by Anisimov. Boland out of the corner. It's hacked off his stick to Panarin. Moved it to Kane. Patrick Kane trying to dance on Brian Campbell. That didn't work out. Hawks will peel off the chain. Geary. And the puck carried on by Campbell, who flipped it weakly to the net. Handled by Crawford for a whistle. We're halfway through the opening frame. Tied.
For our Illinois lottery, anything's possible. Talked about Jaromir Jagr in the open. Moving up the all-time goal-scoring list in NHL history. Will be soon joining Marcel Dionne. What an amazing career. And at the end of last year, Patty passed the great Ron Francis for fourth all-time in points. Now that's saying something.
Hockey Hall of Famer, no doubt, a wonderful guy. Crawford handles a bouncing puck here.
I guess when you play for 1,000 years, you're going to be going by a lot of guys, as Jaromir Jagr has done, Pat. And he's approaching 1,600 games. I think I saw that.
Yeah, right. He's got 1,800 points. Yeah. You showed us that he's fifth in goals. Yeah. He's fourth all time in points. Yeah, right. 1,809 points in his career. And think what the numbers might be if he didn't go to Russia for a couple of years.
1557 actually tonight is games played for Jaromir Jagr. I think that might have helped him, Pat, that he took the, call it a sabbatical or whatever it was, hiatus to play over in the Russian League. Shorter season, less games.
Had a really great travel over there. If you like 8-hour flights.
That's where you got to get. That's where you got to have a good agent and go. Oh boy, I'm not doing those games.
Yeah. Look at again some of the numbers and what is a certain Hall of Fame career. How about that? 1990 he started with the Pittsburgh Penguins, and absolutely remarkable.
I played with him, Pat, for a couple of years in Pittsburgh, and the one thing I'll say is that his work away from the game, I think, has certainly allowed him to be able to play as long as he has, and play with a lot of guys. But I mean, protecting the puck in an era where there was hooking and holding, clutching and grabbing, I mean, he did it as well as anybody. I mean, he'd get that big frame and that backside of his, and he'd protect the puck, and he'd be able to do things that a lot of guys aren't able to do, and just had an incredible run.
And that's, what you were talking about at the start of your comment about, I mean, people talk about his work ethic in legendary terms. Right. I mean, clearly at the age of 43, to be able to keep up with the pace of the game these days is a testimony to how much time and effort he has put in off the ice to continue to be a fine player. I mean, the Panthers got him late last year, and after he showed up, they went 12-7-2. Here's the chance for Osa. But a shot blocked. Top back Chalmerson tries a long one. Luongo made the save. It's loose. And picked up by Huberdeau. Able to clear to center.
They've had some good chances from the back end. Defensemen have been available.
Branson tries a long one. That's deflected up high, out of play.
Well, the lanes have been there. Get the shot through. Chalmerson with the shot. Deflected. Right there. Taves with the chance. Luongo with a good stop. I think Johnny probably just slowed it up a little bit too much here, Pat. Usually when you're getting a shot like this, you want to redirect it. Don't want to slow it down almost to a crawl, and I think that's what ended up happening. Now, in fairness to Jonathan Taves there, he had a battle going on, and all you need to do sometimes is just open up that blade so it kind of goes like a ramp there, and that's where you're looking for the goaltender to be down and get that puck upstairs.
Jagr out of the corner. Spins it in front. Chalmerson there to pick it off. So then Huberdeau gets it back. Good Branson. Yager. Checked by Kruger. Able to get it out. Seabrook waiting for changes to happen. Now they move ahead. Panarin into the zone, looking to drive. One of the forehand with a quick shot. Nice move by Panarin, but his shot just missed. And the Panthers the other way. Riley Smith ran through his legs, then pulled up, looks to center. It's tipped back the other way. Glad rolled that. That's way offside. The whistle goes.
Let's take a look at that nice play there by Artemi Panarin, Pat. Stop it right here. Now, you see the stick of Gudbranson, right? Now, what Panarin's trying to do, he's trying to slide the puck this way and then use his stick and pick it up on the other side and make a complete circle. How he gets this chance right there. I mean, that's a heads-up play, knowing the shot of the defenseman, knowing the angle where he is. Yes, the shot did not hit the net, but the execution of that play at a high rate of speed certainly shows the skill level, of Artemi Panarin.
He comes in here with 3 assists in his last 2 games, does Panarin.
Good stick by Rundblad there.
Good
defensively.
stand-up play by David Rundblad. Trevor Daley moves ahead. Snapped it off. It's soaked up by Luongo. 5.5 remaining in the first period in a 1-1 duel. Cup winner and certainly a member of the Blackhawks core. And Eddie, I mean, with the injury situation now facing the Hawks D, here he is back on the left side. You were telling us earlier about defensemen who sometimes have to play their offside. So now he's a left-hand shot playing the left side. For the better part of the last couple of seasons, he's been a left-hand shot playing the right side. He never looks out of place. I am tremendously impressed by this. Should I be as impressed as I am? There's not a lot of guys I don't think that have that type of versatility.
No, they don't. And I think a lot of it is, Pat, is understanding where you are on the rink and positioning of your skates and your feet. I mean, that's exactly what it is. I mean, we got a lot of young hockey players that watch these games. It's important that you're able to play all 3-4 positions, to be able to play both sides on the back end. Yeah, it may not be comfortable, but you know what? All of a sudden it may open up a couple more doors if you could be a right-handed defensive, play the left side or vice versa. So it is difficult, Pat, but it's seamless. When I see Nicholas Hjalmarsson on either side of the ice, and it's all about your skates position and where you're picking up pucks and how you come up the ice. It is not easy, but if you can get it down like Hjalmarsson has, you become a tremendous asset.
Kane hanging on. Kane dropped it. Daley shot it. And they hit traffic in front. Rebound. A whiff by Panarin with Luongo down and seemingly out. Panarin gets it back to Kane. Touch pass. Daley was at his feet. And taken away by the Panthers. Out rings it around. Held in by Rundblad. Then Kane. Patrick Kane. Dropped it back. Panarin had it escape him, and Kulikov cleared it the other way. Going to be icing visitors.
Well, Saturday night, find out which high school teams will be playing in November as CSN presents the IHSA Football Pairing Show, sponsored by Northern Illinois University. Saturday at 8 on CSN Chicago.
Won by Taves and the Hawks and Van Riemsdyk. For Taves in the corner against McKenzie. The Panthers are their 4th line out. Quenneville gets the Taves line against him. And here's Hjalmarsson trying to bank in front of the net, but Luongo had that read and a steal.
Only 2 shots on goal for the Florida Panthers to this point. So we talked about it in the open, partner, right? What did we talk about? Insulating your defense. Don't leave them out there where they got to spend a lot of time in their own zone and force them to really defend. And I'm sure for Jerry Gallant and the Florida Panthers, they like to spend a lot more time and force the Blackhawks to defend. But the forwards have done a good job, and the D have been together and kept the Panthers, for the most part, to the outside.
Branson rings it around. Deaconov up the boards to Hossa. to Toews. Fights his way into the zone. Toews. Winds it around. Hossa's on the other side. Van Riemsdyk's wrister off the mark. Retrieved by Toews. Toews hangs on, goes backdoor for Hossa. Marian Hossa coming off a goal and an assist against Columbus here tonight. His first multi-point game of the year. Hjalmarsson finding Toews. He drives. He shoots. And a save by Luongo. Nice in-tight passing from the Hawks there, yielding a real nice chance for the captain.
And this all started, Pat, because of the interchanging by Niklas Hjalmarsson and Trevor Van Riemsdyk from our Xfinity Telstra. These are two defensemen. Watch the route that they take. Watch this. There goes Van Riemsdyk. He's down low. He comes back. There goes Hjalmarsson. Hossa's back for some help. Toews is there. Next thing you know, it's a 2-on-1. What a pass there by Hjalmarsson. And Luongo down again early there, Pat. Down on that side. So I'm sure Matty Meacham, the terrific video coach for the Blackhawks, will put the pen to paper there and say, look, when you're coming down on the left side, twice now that has happened. Hinostroza was the first. That one was Toews the second. Is that he's cheating. So if you know that and you're coming down, you got to think about crossbarring in. I mean, you got to think about putting that puck around his ears and try to go crossbarring in. You might get one from a bad angle. You never know. But those are two chances there that the Blackhawks have had with the Florida Panther goaltender down a tad early.
Toews still looking for his first goal of the year. 3 assists in his first 7 starts this season. Jokin's long shot deflected wide by Bolin. Garbutt tried to clear. Good keep. Oh, Smith tried to keep it, but it's a hand pass to stop the play.
Well, fans, don't miss your chance to catch all the exciting Blackhawks action from in between the player benches. Those seats right there. Bid on the CME Group seats through the online CME Group seats auction. For more info, visit ChicagoBlackhawks.com.
Well, this one will be dumped in. Runs it in deep. Picked up by Kruger. Marcus Kruger ran out of room at center ice. And now Rundblad moved it to Desjardins. Shaw beaten there by Campbell.
They heard footsteps there. He knew Shaw was coming right on him there in the corner.
And the pace did pick up.
Smart guy, though. I mean, nobody wants to get blasted there by Andrew Shaw.
Bouncing puck here. Shaw couldn't stick a fork in that thing, and Trocheck goes back around. This will be stolen by Shaw. Andrew Shaw dropped it back. Van Riemsdyk hacked it ahead. It's picked off by Ekblad, and it's found Luongo, who covers it up. Shaw, as usual, trying to create a little bit of havoc. Andrew Shaw, this year's first 7 games, no goals, 1 assist. But up among the hit leaders, got 17 hits for Chicago.
Pat, I want to send our condolences to the Tom Bedell family. Just recently passed away, a huge Blackhawks fan for a long, long time out there in Crestwood, Illinois. So we're thinking about the family of Tom Bedell.
Barkov backhands it into Chicago territory. Emerson rounds it out to center.
At the end of the period here, Joe Quenneville loads up with Seabrook and Hjalmarsson.
Panarin looking for Kane. He's got him. Steps into the zone. Patrick Kane pulls up. Dropped it to Hjalmarsson. Here's a long blast. Luongo with the blocker. Rebound to the Panthers. They fail to get it out. Good Branson this time. Goes around the board. Kane keeps it in. Final minute of the first. Panarin unable to pick it up. Anisimov got in there. He's checked by Good Branson. And Barkov failed to get it the puck cleared back the other way. Great sequence for the Anisimov line there.
Good effort by Panarin to come off the wall, got to the slot area and said, I'm not looking to pass here. I'm going to shoot the puck.
And Riemsdyk around the boards. 20 left. Toews against Kemper. Back to Van Riemsdyk. Trying to bank it to the front. Luongo. We've told you before, these are new boards and glass in the United Center. They are more active than the previous set that was here. And Luongo, even though it's his first game in these circumstances, has been very alert, playing those inboard shots that are kind of a pass attempts.
Yeah, not like Joe Louis, but certainly a lot more springy. If I could use that word, partner.
I think you
Even
can.
though we're in the fall time, so wishful. Well, I guess it is going to be a little warm here in the next couple of days, but yeah, active board, so you got to be aware. And you see guys now just shooting for off the side of the net, hoping for a one of those pass shots off the board to the front of the net.
Bolin. Jokinen, 3 on a wrist shot, picked aside by Crawford, and that will finish the first. That becomes the 4th shot on goal for the Florida Panthers in the opening 20. The Blackhawks had a dozen. We'll head into the opening intermission all even. A little conversation between McKenzie and Toews, but he's scoring open 4 minutes in when Anisimov on a power move right there tucked home the first goal of the night, and 34 seconds later, Brandon Peary, the ex-Blackhawk, tied it.
Hawks Hockey on Comcast Sportsnet is brought to you in part by your Chicago and Northwest Indiana Hyundai dealers. Visit buyhyundai.com. BMO Harris Bank. We're here to help. Ford, who invites you to visit your local Ford store or localfordstores.com. Corona Extra, find your beach. And by Kia, visit mykiachicago.com to learn more.
Well, in our Kia drive to the net on this day in Blackhawks history back in 2011. The Blackhawks unveiled bronze statues of Hall of Famers Bobby Hull and Stash Dan Mikita. Right outside the United Center. Both of those guys drove to the net early and often together. 1,151 goals scored in the NHL. If they had video review, they'd have 2,000 goals. Welcome back inside the United Center. 1-1 as we get ready for the second period. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois has teamed up with the Blackhawks and moved 2 lucky fans closer to the action as part of tonight's Blue Seat Upgrade experience. Don't forget to bring your Blue Cross and Blue Shield card for your chance to win. Blue Cross, Blue Shield, through it all. And congratulations to tonight's winners.
Well, I enjoyed your chat with Brent Seabrook. Another terrific interview from Phil Donahue, but
I thought you were going more Maury Povich, maybe.
No. You didn't ask anything about fatherhood. I don't know why you think about Maury Povich. But so good. You know, we talked about it before, the loss of a great star defenseman like Duncan Keith. The penalty coming up here right off the hop, 13 seconds in. Hawks are going to get a power play. But, you know, you told us that load that number 2 carries is going to have to be shared. But the leadership, the composure of a guy like number 7 is huge right here.
With a penalty on Jaromir Jagr. And this second period of Blackhawks hockey is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places.
Hawks scored 2 power play goals on Saturday against Columbus. They were 2 out of 5. That was their first multi-goal power play game of the year. Hayes gets the line, looks for Kane, kicks to the stick.
Resulting in Blackhawks.
Now Seabrook will leave for Kane. front of the net. Paddling. Seabrook got the puck there. Good save by Luongo through a Shaw screen. And the Panthers clear it. Now Seabrook moved it to Panarin. A ring around for Toews. Seabrook. Chip to the corner. Shaw. Out help from Kane. Dropped it back to Seabrook. Panarin back to Seabrook. Then Kane's one-timer. And wide. And bounced out of the zone. So now 40 for the Chicago man advantage. Wholesale changes have been made by both sides. Rundblad comes out. Offside.
Well, not a lot going on for this power play to start the second period. That was the best chance. A low, hard shot there from Brent Seabrook, who is getting an opportunity on that #1 unit. And the one thing that he can do as well as any defenseman, Pat, I mean, he can drift the puck. I mean, we've seen it. Like, he can really let it go. So I think the mindset should be for Brent Seabrook on that power play unit, and everybody's got to know it, is that, hey, if there's a lane there like there was just now we showed, it's going to the net. So everybody's got to understand he's there to shoot the puck. So then when they start taking that away, then what happens? Those other passing lanes open up, and then you let the real creative, skilled guys go ahead and make their plays. So take what is given and let Seabrook shoot the puck on that #1 unit.
That's offside as Anisimov in well early that time. The penalty is expired, so the PK successful for the visitors. Willie Mitchell wearing the captain C for Florida. Two-time Stanley Cup winner, both with the LA Kings a few years ago. That puck deflects out of play. You know, mention all the kids that the Panthers have, and you know, guys like Yager, Mitchell. You know, there's some graybeards on this team as well that are much needed to try to help these young kids figure it out.
One forward, one guy on the back end. You can never have enough of that veteran leadership, Pat, as long as it's directed in the right way, because you get some guys that are it's self-serving, and sometimes that can be the worst.
Desjardins going wide. Whipped it around the board. Here's the puck cleared back by Barkov to center.
That's why you do your homework. And
good pass for Kruger, looking to drive the net. Campbell trying to stay with him, and it kind of a one-hand shot is smothered by Luongo. Kruger couldn't quite pull away.
Hjalmarsson skating backwards, throws it forward. There goes Kruger, and unfortunately for Kruger, he's got Brian Campbell, who can skate extremely well. Really denies that opportunity. As I was saying, Pat, before Kruger and Hjalmarsson interrupted us. Yeah, that's why you got to do your homework when you're bringing in veteran guys. You know how they are and what they stand for, and will they fit into your locker room.
Toews working against Kulikov. That's quite a duel going on. A couple of others join. Dynamic boards are working very, very well. Hossa got it loose. Dropped it back. Svedberg's long one missed. And Peary, now a penalty coming up against Florida. So a solid physical board work type of shift for the Toews line will lead to a Florida penalty. It'll be on Kampfer.
It's going to be a hooking call. It was Tikhonov that he took a piece of as he was going through the middle of the ice on that shot from Svedberg, and I think Shvedberg's going to have to learn, Pat, is if he's going to try to bank that puck off the boards, he's got to shoot it low so it gets off the yellow part of the boards, not the white part. But again, that comes with experience, that comes with reps, and instead of trying to shoot it through somebody, just shoot it off the side of the net. There's David Bolin.
Ian Walsh wanted to know what that pushing and shoving was all about. Now we're back to the play. Teravainen back to Seabrook. Kane gets things set up. Kruger to the front. Needs him outside of the front of the net. And hangs onto it to Seabrook. His long one. He scores! Needs him off the screen. Seabrook found a lane. The power play makes it 2-1.
Well, the face-off win allows the Hawks to get into their set, get into their rotation. Panarin to Seabrook. The lane is there, Pat. And this puck does change direction. It's a low shot. Yeah, look at it. Goes off of, it looks like it goes off of David Bolin and then goes off of Luongo into the top of the net. So this should be Brent Seabrook's goal, but it certainly changed direction within about 6 or 7 feet after it left the stick of Brent Seabrook, and no chance for Luongo.
Right now the Panthers looking to answer. Here's a long flip shot. Ekblad that's deflected. Picked up by Brickley. He brings it around the board. And the Hawks get it out of there. They will ice in Chicago.
Well, get the app and join Club Blackhawks, a space for young fans to connect with the Blackhawks. Build your fantasy team, play Blackhawks trivia, and earn badges. Visit ChicagoBlackhawks.com to learn more and download today. That's what those Blackhawk fans were doing right there. They were downloading those apps.
Yager drives with a shot. Crawford gave a rebound. Yager again. Crawford! Wild down, able to flash the leather. And his team still has the lead.
Yager can't believe it. Walks right in. Puck comes right back to him and just not able to get it elevated from our WeatherTech RoboCam. Big rebound, net front presence, goes right back to Yager. Watch him pull it in and then try to get it upstairs. Not high enough, and beautiful stop there from Corey Crawford. Only the 6th shot of the game, and he had 2 in a matter of about 3 seconds.
Huberdeau centered it, was at the feet of Ekblad, however. Now Hossa will come away with it. Jonathan Huberdeau, the Rookie of the Year a couple of years back. Now a give and go, finds Huberdeau up the middle. He tried to feed Yager with a shot. That's smothered. And the shot block made. Hjalmarsson played it around to Van Riemsdyk.
That was a heck of a play by Yager. It was 1 against 2, and next thing you know, it's a 2-on-1 for the Florida Panthers.
Hossa, neat move around to check. He gets the line. Hossa brings it around. Trocheck able to clear to center ice. Back comes Victor Tiganov in for Marcus Kruger. Now Seabrook. Put it in deep. Here's a wraparound by Shaw. A save, Luongo. Shaw went for a downstairs stuff attempt, and Luongo managed to stop him.
Well, that play started with Brent Seabrook just putting the puck down the boards, didn't have an alley to shoot the puck. And a good effort here. Kruger with a nice little interchange and an all-in-one motion there. Shaw wraps it around Luongo, taking away the bottom of the net. So right idea, good execution all the way around.
Pressured by Shaw, turned it over. Here's Kruger. And Jokinen for Florida. Up to Kulikov to Hanford. This pass didn't connect, going to be icing Florida.
Well, next Thursday, come out and enjoy great hockey as CSN Chicago hosts a Coors Light viewing party at Emil's Tavern in Mundelein. Watch Chicago battle Winnipeg and enjoy ice-cold Coors Light next Thursday at 7 Bells. Got your Halloween costume picked out yet, partner?
The only one to go is Olchek.
Now
I don't have enough hair to make it
that's
work.
scary.
A snow shower for Crawford drew the Blackhawks' attention, but no harm done. I think Corey has a little bit of a smirk under that headgear. Well, the Blackhawks had a tie game until they got a power play, and Brent Seabrook pounded home his second strike of the year, putting his team up 1.
Saturday night, Stanley Cup rematch. The Tampa Bay Lightning will be in town. You see the record. Steven Stamkos, not a surprise. Always putting pucks in the back of the net. Tampa will be in the peg tomorrow night, so a tough turnaround. Winnipeg Jets off to a real good start. Had a chance to run into the terrific general manager of the Winnipeg Jets the other night, Pat. Kevin Cheveldayoff out on a scouting trip in Philadelphia. Always good to see Chevy.
Oh, he's the best, yeah. The Hawks will be in Winnipeg next week. Hawks are going to be short-handed here if they get control.
Kruger
Will to have happened now, and the Panthers to get their first power play chance.
It was right after the face-off. And Marcus Kruger. You see the stick in the midsection a couple of times. Takes down Derek McKenzie, so an opportunity for the Florida Panthers.
They're 5 out of 24 on the power play this year. PK is allowed 2 out of the last 10. That's over 3 games.
2 minutes for booking at 6:35.
It was the Blackhawks power play conversion that has the home side in front. Huberdeau turns this one over. Ekblad has to get back. Barkov gets the line. Yager. To Alexander Barkov. Good stick, Van Riemsdyk. Going to be held in by Ekblad at the line. Now loose to Desjardins. He's able to trickle it out.
Good reps here for Van Riemsdyk here, Pat. Obviously, with Duncan Keith being out, somebody's got to eat up those penalty-killing minutes. Where Dunk usually plays about 75 or 80% of it, right?
Well, between him and Hjalmarsson, yeah. They usually have the bulk of it. Well, the Panthers get organized. Bjugstad snap it off. Up high over top of the net. Down to 40 left on the man advantage.
You're going to shoot the puck from that angle for Bjugstad. You can't miss the net. Hawk catch a break there.
Back in, Campbell to the middle, shooting. Crawford makes the save. Seabrook grabbed in behind, won the puck still, however, and able to clear it the other way.
There's going to be a holding call there on Jokinen. He was grabbing Seabrook, and good strength there by Seabrook.
Jokinen centered it. Oh, the pass just tipped away from Howden, who was rolling up the slot. Trocheck. And a good stick to Nisimov. Tapped the pass out. The Hawks penalty over. And now both teams are at full strength. Here's alongside Van Riemsdyk. Kicked away Luongo. Kulikov works into the Chicago end, lost the puck. They're able to keep it in. Into behind Brickley, could not corral it. Kane touched it out to center. Good back pressure by Howden in for Brickley, who looks to drive. Good stick, Van Riemsdyk. Up loose to the boards. Taves got there, and here come the Hawks back. Panarin to Taves into the zone. Puck was flopping around on him. Now Kane in behind Taves. Back to Rundblad, who's long one, but sailed high and wide. Rundblad again. In behind Panarin. Couldn't corral it. And the Panthers able to clear.
Coach Q loading up there with Taves, Panarin, and Kane after that good, strong penalty kill.
One hit somebody on the Chicago bench. We're halfway through the second period. And the Hawks up one. Back to the UC, where we have a chance to send out a birthday greeting to a very good friend of mine. There's Greg Kunkel and his wife Debbie here in row one at the United Center. But it's Kunks' birthday, 39 again. And obviously got a big endorsement deal with the Wilson Company, but the legendary caddy master at Sunset Ridge Country Club. Been there for over 30 years and has done immeasurable help to a lot of young kids who've worked in that caddy program. It's as good as there is in the area. And happy birthday to Kunks, who for the last couple of years has had some physical battles and bounds better than ever. Here's a long shot from Hossa deflecting. Picked up Hjalmarsson, centered it into the blue paint. The Hawks had a couple folks crash in the net. Taves now back to Van Riemsdyk. On the Hawks power play, a long shot is blocked by Barkov. That stung him. And that's some follow-up from Ekblad, able to clear. Now Tikhonov rolled it in behind. Rundblad jostled by Jagr, and this one deflects out of play.
Well, tomorrow at 7, the Bulls face Dallas in their preseason finale. Don't forget, you can live stream this game and every CSN Chicago Bulls game all season long on csnchicago.com or on the NBC Sports Live Extra app. You get Neil, you get Stacy, you get Stacy, you get Neil. Bulls.
And icing Florida to be called. Blackhawks here in their own rink, 2-1. They're 3-3 overall, but 4-game homestand in progress right here. There's Riley Smith, who has a brother playing with the Detroit Red Wings. Brother Brendan is a D-man for the Wings. Now the Panthers, Bolin waited way too long to carry that in, and it's way offside.
Yeah, Riley Smith came over in the offseason of the trade between the Boston Bruins and the Florida Panthers. Jimmy Hayes, the Boston native, ended up going back home.
Jokinen. And his shot blocked by Rundblad. Bailey had his stick lifted, or at least grabbed, and going to be a hooking violation on Bolin. So the Hawks will head back to the power play.
Well, what an opportunity here. Again on the power play. Quick little hook around the hips and the hands of Trevor Daley. David Bolin in the box, and one of the better penalty killers for the Florida Panthers. in the box.
Overtime foul number 63, Dave Bowman. 2 minutes for booking 11-19. Florida penalty call number 63, Bowman. 2 minutes for booking 11-19. Resulting in a Blackhawks power play.
Has to dump that one. Good Branson on it. On a second chance, able to clear it. Now they'll go delayed entry. Kane will carry it on. Looking for his winger on the board. Bouncing puck came right through Anisimov. Rolled it back to Teravainen. Teuvo Teravainen into the middle for Kane. Hangs on. Looking back door. Where's the puck going to go? Teravainen looks to go back to Kane. It was tipped right through the blue paint. Held in Seabrook to Kane. Teravainen touch pass. Finding Panarin, who tried to get it back to Kane.
Hawks right now trying to pass the puck into the net.
Olczyk just copyrighted that one. Here's Kane taking a look. His shot and a save. Luongo. Rebound loose. A diving Luongo able to cover it up.
I think sometimes you can overpass, and it's all about making adjustments. Coaches will know the tendencies on both sides, but when the lane is there, you got to attack. And we saw that on the power play goal by Brent Seabrook. Lane was open, fired the puck, got a fortunate bounce, puck ends up in the back of the net. You shoot the puck, those passing lanes will open up.
Daly to Rundblad. Daly for Hossa. Here it comes. Good recovery by Jokinen. Jussi Jokinen got his stick in the way of the shot. It's out of play.
A nice movement there. Move the puck to one side of the ice, kick it back the other way, and an opportunity and a half. And Joel Quenneville makes a quick change. He's going to give Tikhonov an opportunity on this power play unit. Pulls Andrew Shaw off the ice right away.
Daly taking a look to Hossa. Here's Rundblad, a blast. Put up off the glass. And a diving McKenzie able to clear the zone. The Florida penalty over. Both teams are back at full strength. And this is icing Chicago.
Columbus Blue Jackets were in town the other night, Pat. The Blackhawks beat them, and kind of touched on it during that game that might be a change in the offering, and they went home and lost to the New York Islanders, and John Tortorella back in the National Hockey League. Dismissed a year plus ago from the Vancouver Canucks, now the new head coach with the Columbus Blue Jackets. And welcome to Columbus. You're going to play 7 of your next 8 on the road. So, but big changes in CBJ.
Hossa gains the line. Shot it, and a save by Luongo. And again, looking down early. Bobby Lou most of the night. Penalty, Florida coming up. Jonasson's in deep. Looking to slip it in front. Goes all the way to Kruger. Marcus Kruger with the 6th attacker on for the Hawks. And Reinsdyk to Jomerson. Desjardins to the front of the net. Hossa looks back. Jomerson had his pass deflect out of the zone. The whistle goes. Well, the Blackhawks will head to the power play when we come back, looking to add to a 1-goal lead.
Welcome back to the United Center. Hawks are going on a power play, out shooting the Florida Panthers 19-9 with 5:43 left to go here in the second period, up by 1.
Campbell, a slash in the Hawks to the power play.
Yeah, broke Broke the stick of Marcus Kruger.
Anisimov won the draw. So now Kane.
Ryan Campbell, 2 minutes per slasher, 14-17.
Now it's Anisimov to the front of the net.
Florida penalty call number 51.
Out there with Kane, Teravainen.
2-17.
And here's Kane. And a save. Rebound. Oh, Luongo. A fine rebound stop on Teuvo Teravainen, who could not lift a backhand.
Shoot first power play creates an outstanding second chance opportunity. Panarin, beautiful pass. Watch this play here by Teuvo Teravainen. And then watch where Teravainen goes. He goes right to the front of the net. It's like a pinball machine there. And then now he's just not able to get that puck upstairs. But net front presence by Anisimov. What a pass.
That was a sweet touch pass by TT.
One of those I would call that smells tasty.
Now he's got it back into the zone. Dropped it to Seabrook. Teravainen jostled by Goodbranson. Anisimov there to support. He won the puck. And Panarin to Teravainen to Seabrook. Teravainen left it there. Kane. With a shot. He was hoping for an Anisimov stick, but it missed. Now the Panthers have Goodbranson out there without a stick. He broke his. And he's right trying to defend Panarin, whose pass missed 2 teammates, and that will allow the Panthers to clear.
Just a little too hard of a pass there from Kane, looking for the stick of Anisimov.
40 for the man advantage on the dump in. Taves. And he bounced away from Daly and out. Daly to Taves. In for Rundblad. And he handed that one away to Bowman. One last power play rush. Hossa gains the line to Taves. Jonathan Taves. They rolled it back to David Rundblad. Touched it forward. The Florida penalty over. Both teams full strength. Shaw won a board battle. Now Hossa missed Johnson. Desjardins cleared it ahead. Hossa kicks to the stick, drives with a shot. Good recovery to Branson. It's out of play.
Well, here's that play from Kane to Anisimov. He actually gets a piece of this, Pat, but just a little bit too hard. And there you see the reaction of Anisimov. Right idea, but I like the mindset of that power play where when the lane was there, they were thinking about getting into the net. Not necessarily always has to be on net. It could be off the net. You're looking for a stick. Maybe you get a fortunate bounce.
And Riemsdyk. And Ekblad to Trocheck. The Panthers will be able to get out. This is a delayed offside whistle against the Panthers.
Well, enter for your chance to play a live game on the video board at the United Center. Winners will receive 4 200-level game tickets and great prizes based on the game that will be played that night. Visit ChicagoBlackhawks.com to enter.
The Hawks able to send it deep. Kruger. Jostling with Bjugstad. Panther is able to clear it out of there. Anderson had Yager well looked after. And Riemsdyk scooped it out of the zone. pressured by Kruger. Shaw then got squeezed to the boards. Desjardins carried on. Chalmerson looks for a long shot and saved Luongo. The rebound is hopped away from Kruger and back to Luongo covering.
Go back to the first period, Pat. We talked about where the Hawks were able to get some shots from the defenseman at the blue line. Such an important part of offense when you can incorporate your defense, and there's a shot. Ekblad there lifting up his leg and making like a flamingo there and allowing that puck to get on Bobby Lou. And unfortunately for Marcus Kruger, he was in a little bit too tight, not able to get that second chance opportunity, but right idea there with the low hard shot from Chalmerson.
We've played 38 minutes so far tonight. Florida still not into double digits in terms of their shots on goal. They got 9 so far.
It's been a lot of one and done.
It's a team that's been challenged offensively for quite some time. Last year, Florida finished 25th in offense. Teravainen left it. Hinostroza stripped before he could shoot it. Penalty coming up against the Panthers again. Florida just killing themselves with penalties in the second period. Now they steal it. The whistle goes. Might be Trocheck, the guilty party.
Well, I thought that Hinostroza had a chance to shoot the puck a little quicker here, Pat. Nice little outlet pass. Hinostroza to Garbett to Teravainen, and had a chance to let it go, and then the puck went off, and then watch what ends up happening. Trocheck, as you mentioned, Pat, gets the stick up. And
Eddie, this is the 5th power play in this period for the Chicago Blackhawks, so
I think that goes hand in hand with the shots for sure, but any sustained pressure or lack thereof for the Florida Panthers, it's been one and done.
Resulting in a Blackhawks power play.
it's offside. That's the second time the Hawks have gone offside on a power play, which is something no coach will ever be happy about.
End of the period. Ice gets a little rough. You got to be sure here, because you know that the Florida Panthers, especially with Jokinen and Bolin, they're going to look for an opportunity maybe to get an odd man situation while shorthanded here very late. So the Blackhawks certainly have to be on their toes.
1 minute remaining.
Good decisions.
1 minute.
Final minute of period 2. Seabrook, who has a goal and an assist in the game, including the lead goal, leads the rush. Put it on the stick of Panarin. Well, pass it to himself off the sideboard. Didn't work out. Back comes Seabrook. 2 men pressured him at center. Smith the takeaway. Now here, look at this, going to be icing. Wow. On the same power, on a minute-long power play, you've gone offside and iced it. Wow.
The Hawks were in the middle of a change there. Taves went off, and Nisimov jumped on, and puck went right by both players. So now the face-off to the left of Corey Crawford.
Eddie, I'll tell you what, to me, what's a little bit worrisome here, yes, this is the 5th power play, and Hawks have a minute of time to start period 3 with an extra man on a fresh sheet of ice. And they have a power play goal in this period. But if I'm the Florida Panthers, having spent so much time in the box, only down 1 going into the 3rd, I'm pretty happy about that.
You got to feel pretty good about that.
All right, the Panthers able to stay close tonight, even though in the second period, the Hawks had 9 shots and the Panthers had 5. The totals are 21-9 through 40 minutes of play. But the only goal coming in the second period right there on a power play from that man, Brent Seabrook's blast, goes in. And that right now is the difference.
Hockey on Comcast Sportsnet is brought to you in part by your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Menards. Save big money at Menards. Land Rover. Adventure is yours for the taking. Visit LandRoverIllinois.com. And by AT&T Uverse. Find out what's possible with AT&T. Call 1-800-PIC-ATT. Mobilizing your world.
Welcome back to the United Center, where the Hawks will take a 1-goal lead into period 3. Before that happens, we get a chance to talk to Mike Kitchen, brought to us tonight by Acura. Kitch, when you have such an injury as your team is trying to deal with, is there any sort of extra pressure on the coach that changes up the D to try to figure out how to spread all that important minute ice time around?
Well, hey, you know, one thing, missing a player like Dunks is, that's a big void in our lineup, so we have to do it by committee. And it's just realizing who can play with who, you know. I mean, we've got a lot of young D out here, you know, and plus with Daly in the back end, you got Van Riemsdyk, you got Rundblad, you got Svedberg, you know, and a lot of, you know, 3 of those guys are a little inexperienced for, you know, everyday duty. So they're stepping up to the plate here, and we just got to do it by committee and then make sure they share the ice time.
Hey, Kitch, I'm going to date you. I had a chance to play for you back in the late 80s in Toronto. You did a lot of teaching then. I know you do a lot of teaching now. But how about in-game, especially with all the changes? And you got a lot of inexperience on that back end.
Well, we tried to take it over from, we've had a lot of practice days lately, too, and then we tried to use that video from the previous games, and we just take it where we create drills for our D, for our inexperienced D or young D here, just so they can be better, and it'll be about their positioning, having one hand on their stick, and how they come protect the front of the net, no open side plays. So it's all those little things, but a lot of it's just reminders also.
Amazing coach at 14 years old. Thanks a lot, Kitch.
Thank you.
Good luck the rest of the way.
Good job.
All right, power play for the Hawks just for another half minute as we start the third. And a good pass finds Kane. He's going to drive right to Branson with the goal. A perfect pass from Brent Seabrook. Caught Patrick Kane right in stride. Bang! 3-1.
Well, here's Patrick Kane. And Pat, you made mention of the pass. Nothing better than a forward of getting a pass in mid-stride. Perfectly placed. Little forehand, backhand, and a third point of the night for 88. Little forehand, backhand, Luongo down at the whole top of the net. Now that's a salty play there from Seabrook to Kane.
And number 50, Corey Crawford at 17 seconds. 5 on goal on the power play, his 5th of the season, scored by Kane.
Now the whistle goes for an offside, and
17 seconds.
the Hawks able to cash the power play.
There's another look at that goal. Beautiful pass in between 2 Panther defenders, and Patrick Kane with the acknowledgement to Brent Seabrook.
So each one of those 2 guys, Kane and Seabrook, a 3-point night, each with a goal and 2 assists. And after we lamented the Hawks' power play at the end of the second period with a couple of chances that really did not get a lot done, but huge, I would call it a huge conversion here to start the third.
Without question. In this third period of hockey is brought to you by Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Honda dealers.
Panarin stripped of it by Ekblad. Then Campbell goes back to his partner Aaron Ekblad, gaining the line, dropped it. Peary shot it right on to save by Crawford, who picked up an assist on that third Hawks goal. Corey Crawford getting his first point of the year as he set it up for Brent Seabrook.
As most hockey players do, Pat, little bragging rights, and I'm sure Crawford will tell both Seabrook and Kane that doesn't happen if I don't set up the puck perfectly. And you're able to go 200 feet the other way.
Pat, I'm almost sure that I think earlier in the season, former Blackhawk goaltender Antti Niemi had a shutout and 2 assists in a game. It was his very first game as a Dallas Star, who won again tonight. By the way, they went into Pittsburgh and took care of business there. Yeah, 4-1. They're really playing well right now. The Dallas Stars.
Niemi's been a terrific add to that team.
See if Crawford can get another apple here.
Here's Peary, whose shot was deflected to Shaw. Svedberg to Desjardins. This pass was read and picked off by Bjugstad. Now Rundblad. Had it taken away. Bailey. Made it to Florida's blue line. It bounces to Garbutt. Hinostroza. Going to pry it off the board. He did. Good pass. Teravainen, but a shot hit Kulikov. Nice work from Hinostroza, and Teravainen had a one-timer he let go. Ryan Garbutt going to pass it to himself around a check. Didn't work out very well, and Trocheck for the Panthers. Drop it to Campbell. Turnover at center. Back come the Hawks. Taves. Knocked free. Huberdeau the other way. Jágr gets the line. Jágr's pass deflected to the board. Trocheck. Dropped it back to the line. Here's Ekblad, and unable to keep it in there. Here comes Hossa. Florida will put it back to center.
And we got word that Barkov got
Left the game gingerly in that second period, and we've been told that he will not return, so a big loss for the Panther offense. You know, speaking of we talked earlier a little bit about the struggles for the Panthers to score. They were 25th in the league last year in scoring. It's been 7 seasons since they've had a 30-goal scorer in Florida. So you're down that low in terms of offensive production. You know, any mistake is magnified. Anytime a goalie gives up a soft goal, it becomes more problematic. It's just a really difficult thing to overcome. You can't overcome any mistakes if you can't score. Here's a giveaway. Diving save Luongo on Panarin. And it's cleared back to the line. Seabrook there. Kane. Dropped it, and Eastmouth doing strip. He drives, looking for Panarin. It just jumped over his stick. Comes back to Svedberg, who could not keep it in. Temi Panarin. Rolled it to the corner. Squirts loose back to center ice. And here comes Trocheck into the zone. Trocheck tried to throw a bad angle, hitting the side of the net. Kampfer with it around the board. This will be icing Blackhawks.
Well, heck of a play by Artem Anisimov. Right there. Oh, sorry, that was Patrick Kane. My fault. I thought it was Anisimov. It was Kane with the quick little poke check, and there you see the forehand, backhand opportunity for Artemi Panarin, and the dry erase board out for assistant coach Kevin Dineen.
Right off the draw, a holding call here, it looks like, and Trocheck upset because the stick came up and got him, and Kruger, the violator. And it's going to be a double minor, so 4 minutes on the board for Marcus Kruger. Panthers have had just one power play tonight, but get 4 minutes with which to work here. Face-off win by Toews. We'll take some time off the clock. A clearing attempt went out. Did it tip? Officials are consulting. And it's going to be a penalty. Now the Hawks are going to be 2 men short as the puck cleared right out of the defensive zone into the crowd. And now a major opportunity for the visitors.
Boy, in a matter of 6 seconds, the complexion of this game has the ability to change with this 5-on-3.
All right, so Taves, Van Riemsdyk, Seabrook are out. The Panthers get the draw. Campbell looks to Jokinen. Back to Campbell. Here's a one-timer. Peary, that just missed the far post. Peary again, who's got their goal tonight, goes down low. Jokinen's pass right to the doorstep. Here's Trocheck on the other side. Trocheck back to Peary. Now Jokinen put it in front. Kicked away by Crawford to Seabrook. Couldn't get it out. Trocheck out to Riley Smith. Now you see Jokinen. Jokinen to Peary at last. He missed the target again. Campbell keeps it in. Peary, Jokinen. They get Smith front of the net. Here's Campbell with a mishandle. Trocheck takes over. A minute remains in a 2-man advantage. Trocheck a shot blocked to Jokinen, and Crawford wanted to freeze that. He couldn't reach it. Peary put it in front. A shot. Trocheck. Big two by Crawford. Rebound held in. They keep the heat on. Here's a centering pass. Jokinen. Diving save by Crawford. And finally the backhander from Van Riemsdyk gets out. The Hawks can eventually change him up. Now they get back in. A steal by Svedberg. Hey! Cleared it down all the way. One last rush and a 2-man advantage for the visitors. Bjugstad goes the other way. Here's Ekblad. Touching it ahead. Bolin to Ekblad. David Bolin looking back over for Jágr. The pass hit Crawford. Then they score. Jágr found the loose puck just off of Corey Crawford's pad. And that happened before the first penalty expired. So the Panthers will still have a power play. And now they're down 1.
Well, a heck of a job in front of the net by Bjugstad. He's here. So now that allows the pass to go from left to right, and Jaromir Jágr will come over and find this puck right on the goal line as Nick Bjugstad's reaching in. Crawford with a strong left leg. Beautiful save. Puck is laying there. The quick little push, and then there's Jágr. Barely gets to the back of the net. Comes to the blue paint. Heck of a play there from David Bolin, and now the 5-on-3 becomes a 5-on-4, and a full 2 minutes goes up with that high sticking penalty to Kruger. And think about it, Pat. Kruger and Hjalmarsson both in the penalty box at that time, and there's
a lot of your peak.
Yeah, there's 50% of your specialty team.
Taves wins the draw, allowing a Seabrook clear. So now the first penalty of the Hawks over, or at least the minor to Hjalmarsson. They're 1 man short. Bjugstad lost it. Hjalmarsson on the counterattack. Taves trying to catch him. Hjalmarsson wants the captain and had to just poke it in behind. Bolin back into the zone. Goes around the board. Bjugstad kicked it in deep. And now a hand pass will stop the play.
Florida Panthers had really nothing going on, and then all of a sudden, a couple of penalties and a power play goal from Jaromir Jagr, and they're still on the power play, and they're within one now.
Jokinen was taken down. It's chased down by Desjardins. 75 for the Hawks. Penalty. Now Smith gains the line to Trocheck. His pass is picked off to Toews. He's got Hossa with him. Toews crisscrossing into the zone. Hossa in early. And it's offside.
Well, with Hjalmarsson being in the box pad in that last situation, Joel Quenneville had to. You look down the bench, you go Brent Seabrook, and then who else is up? I mean, so yeah, Daly got a chance, Svedberg got a chance, TVR got a chance. Valuable experience gained. Whether you're a guy like Trevor Daly, who hasn't been here a long time, or guys like Svedberg and TVR.
Desjardins able to win a board battle from Huberdeau. The Panthers start back. Bolin, good pass to Ekblad. His shot just missed the near post, and a penalty coming up as Garbutt went down, seemed to get together with Bolin, and David Bolin's being sent off.
Right at center ice after Bolin moved this puck wide. Ryan Garbutt came in to finish a hit, and there you see the stick right into the yap of Ryan Garbutt. Move the puck, get your stick up, and there you see Garbutt go right to the deck. Hopefully he's okay. He's making a beeline into the...
He's going to the dressing room.
Gonna go get some repairs or get looked at inside that Blackhawk locker room.
Which makes me ask, if he needs repairs, why is it just a 2-minute penalty? But it's 4 skaters aside for the next 21, and the Hawks win a draw. Van Riemsdyk do it down low. Good Branson for Florida. He missed Mitchell. Here's a steal by Hjalmarsson. And none of the Panthers will get out. Jokinen threw it into the corner, hoping for Smith. Hjalmarsson got there first. Now the Chicago penalty is over. The Hawks on a power play for a minute and a half. Toews in there for Van Riemsdyk. Looking to center, it came back to him. He shoots. Luongo stopped it and covered it. McKenzie able to beat Toews on that draw, and they get it out. Seabrook will get the line. And the puck bounced back to center ice. A minute remains on the Chicago power play. Kane able to corral a bouncer, but nobody was at the point. They were changing, and Rundblad was just coming over the board. David Rundblad, who hasn't played in a game for almost 2 weeks, able to clear it ahead. Panarin rolls up back to Rundblad, who's unable to keep it in. Now Daly carried into the zone. Rundblad up the boards, then got it from Hossa. Again, Haas hangs on. Rundblad's one-timer. Luongo had a clear view of that long one.
Well, Wednesday night rivalry continues on NBCSN as the Pittsburgh Penguins head to D.C. to take on Alexander Ovechkin and the Caps. Coverage begins next Wednesday at 7 Central on NBCSN. I like that last entry there by Trevor Daley at the end of that power play. There was no passing lane. What did he do? He just wheeled with it. He just skated it all the way in, and the Hawks were able to get it set up. It was a good play there from Trevor Daley. I'm a big believer is that the less passing you do, the better chance you have to be able to get that puck in. Now, I mean, you got to take what is given, but I think sometimes you just pass the puck for the sake of passing it, and you pass it right into traffic.
And all the penalties have expired. Both teams are back at full and equal strength. Panarin's going to get the line. Branson got to it, and here come the Panthers. Bjugstad fires a long shot. Crawford gave a rebound. Hjalmarsson got rid of it. Dmitry Kulikov needs a little help. It comes from Steven Kampfer. Hjalmarsson took it away. Brandon Peary missed on a pass going all the way down. Going to be icing Panthers.
Well, time now for our BMO Harris Bank check replay. Right before Ryan Garbutt got hit by David Bolin, took a run at Nick Bjugstad. Hopefully Garbutt's going to be all right after that high stick from Bolin.
Now 4 men in behind the Panther goal. Teravainen put it back to Seabrook. No lane there, looking for Shaw. Teravainen for Hinostroza, who got knocked down as the puck arrived. Good work from Kulikov. And it's shot the other way. Hinostroza will drop it back. Seabrook taking a look. Kane forced to circle. Scooping it in there. Kruger goes down low to Kane. He's able to hang on. And again, Ford dueling. Riley came up with it for the visitors. And Campbell up the ice. Cleared it in. Howden. And that's going to be ruled offside. 6.5 remaining in the third period. Patrick Kane on a power play off a great feed from Seabrook has the lead goal. Back to the UC, where we take a look at the upcoming schedule for the Hawks. Saturday, a Stanley Cup Finals rematch. We'll have it on Channel 9 at 7:30 with the Hawks and the Lightning. And then on Monday, a team that many are picking to win the Western Conference. Certainly one of the favorites, the Anaheim Ducks. We'll have it for you here on CSN. And then a back-to-back set of games in Winnipeg Thursday and in Minnesota Friday. Hey, there are other teams in the Western Conference. All right, it's going to take Take almost 3 weeks for the Hawks to see any of them, but we'll finally see the Jets and then the Wild next week. Now the Panthers, Yager. Dropped at Huberdeau to Bjugstad. A turnaround attempt and handled by Crawford. Nick Bjugstad. Shot it from a tough angle. Crawford stopped it. Rebound to Yager. The puck jumped loose and Tikhonov ahead for Hossa. Gets into the zone. Hossa to the trailing Toews. Waiting. Shooting. Big save on the long rebound loose. And a diving Bobby Lou. Does he have it? No. But the Panthers do. And they'll get things settled down. Now Jokinen ahead for Smith. Riley Smith hangs on. Ran out of time as Kane took him right off the puck. Took it away. Moved it ahead. Panarin. Hanging out with a shot. That's blocked. And now Anisimov. Left it Panarin. Goes the other way. Kane. Kane to Seabrook with a one-timer. Missed the target. Like a crazy hop out of play. 5 minutes to go in regulation. 3-2 Chicago.
A couple of three-point guys connecting. Seabrook to Kane. Top shelf. And, oh yeah, who forgot to acknowledge the second assist, and Patrick Kane acknowledging Corey Crawford. Yeah, you got an assist there. You got an assist. As I said earlier, Crawford will let those guys know at a later date, well, probably right after the game. That doesn't happen if I don't stop the puck.
5 minutes to go. It's a 1-goal Chicago lead. Panarin out of the corner. Has picked off Trocheck. Scooped it ahead. Then got it back. Trocheck tried a shot that was partially blocked. And nobody at the point for Tampa. Why did you say Tampa? Well, there is another team in that state. These are the Florida Panthers. Here's Trocheck.
I was looking at my score sheet to see if there was somebody named Tampa back there.
Yeah, well, sorry. All right, here's Trocheck. Spinning it back, and he missed it. Kulikov. He's turned it over. Desjardins to Kruger. Around to Shaw. Now again, Kruger. Here's Kulikov looking to move the Panthers back. Pass didn't connect.
Hawks defense have done a good job there through the middle of the ice. Good sticks. Couple, and that one was Daly. Not giving the Florida Panthers a lot of free room.
One glad here had it but lost it, and Crawford's going to take a whistle. 3:32 to go into third. 3-2 Chicago. Welcome back to the UC. You see Roberto Luongo's career numbers in the top 10 all time in a couple of very important categories. And the move, I think, anybody, General Manager Dale Talon, to bring in a veteran netminder playing behind, yes, some older guys, but an awful lot of young talent here. You got to have a guy give you a chance, and that's what he's been able to do. Stability. Since his return to Florida. He once played for a long time, and still, even when he was in Vancouver for so long, I think he kept a home in Florida and loves the opportunity to be back there. Ekblad lets it go. It's blocked by Hjalmarsson. That stung him. He's limping back towards the bench. Teravainen the other way. Shoots one. Goal post. Rebound. And that didn't miss by much on the second chance.
That would have been a great assist for Hjalmarsson.
Huberdeau to the other end for Bjugstad. Couldn't get rid of a shot. And now the Hawks start away.
Still laboring on that bench.
Taken down was Teravainen. Another Panther penalty coming up. The visitors have really stymied themselves by pretty constant trip to the box. They're shorthanded 5 times in the second period. This will be their second time short in the third. And a great puck possession here by the Hawks. Kane's going to get the line with 6 attackers on. Referee kind of got in his way. And now the whistle goes. Didn't know they ever lost the puck, but Glazeman stopped.
Well, high fives all around for Nicholas Hjalmarsson. Aaron Ekblad, who can really let it go. Block shot. Leads to a 2-on-1, and there's no padding. Right in the back of the leg there where he takes it. Teravainen changes the angle and is not able to get it up high enough. And a little bit more on the inside. He beat Luongo clean. Lots of room upstairs, short side, and a hooking call to Jaromir Jagr. Hawks have to be aware here of the Panthers taking advantage and cheating offensively here once they get possession in their own zone. How early does Jerry Gallant, the coach of the Florida Panthers, pull Luongo here?
Kane drops it to Anisimov. Panarin looking towards Kane. And Riemsdyk to Seabrook. Kane retrieving. Panarin to Kane. Anisimov near the front of the net. Seabrook with a blast into the glove of Luongo.
Now take a look at this shot here, Pat, by Brent Seabrook. Now stop it right here. The shot, right? Now watch these two players here, Pat. Watch them take off. Watch. Seabrook shoots it. They think it's going wide. Look at them. They're starting to leave the zone already, maybe looking for an odd man situation. So heads-up play there by the Panthers, and Hawks have to keep an eye on that.
Bailey kept it. Hossa left it for Taves. A minute for the Hawks power play. 1:20 for the third. Hossa out of the corner. Waiting. Centering. Oh, shanked by Kruger. Great setup by Hossa, but Kruger could not finish it. Jam back to Hossa on the board.
1 minute remaining regulation time.
Final minute of the third. Marcus Kruger by Marian Hossa. Tied up by Goodbranson. Taves into support. Puck rolled free. Bjugstad cleared it. And 20 for the Panther penalty.
Why isn't Luongo off the ice here?
They're going to wait till they get to even strength maybe, but here comes Bailey for Chicago. His bank pass picked off by Ekblad. There goes Luongo. And now the penalty expires. 6 attackers, Florida, 20 to go. Trocheck taking a look in front. Spins it back to Pirri. Long shot. Roberts on all the way. Soaked it up.
Maybe a timeout coming here for Florida. Give the Hawks an opportunity to breathe, go over the alignment for the Florida Panthers with the extra attacker on the ice. Just reminders with 14.5 seconds remaining. Extra attacker on the ice. Shot for Brandon Pirri, and the key is there's no rebound given up. The Panthers had numbers there. Huberdeau standing right in front of the net. Go back to that chance. Hossa to Kruger. Kruger's got a wide open net upstairs. Unfortunately, rolls up the blade of his stick and no shot on goal. So subtle reminders coming from both sets of coaches on either bench. What do you do if you win it? What do you do if you lose it? And anything goes if you're the Blackhawks here with 14.5 seconds remaining.
high stick. The Panthers don't want to touch it. Now they do, but all they did was cost themselves time there.
Huberdeau, instead of reaching for it with his glove pad, he knocks it down with the high stick, as you mentioned, and the faceoff comes outside and probably killed off. What would you say, 3 seconds by not touching it?
Oh, anyway, I would think, yeah. Now a neutral zone draw. Taves tossed, Kruger in. Taves got the face-off, could not advance it.
Another
Panthers
penalty.
stumping, and another penalty coming up.
Jokinen,
Another
I
high
think.
stick, yes.
.36 in white, looking for the puck, and pitchforks Jonathan Taves. Well, you got a manager in baseball that wears out the path to the mound. It's been like that to the penalty box for the Florida Panthers.
We'll see their record fall to .500. They'll be 3-3-1. The Blackhawks will move ahead of the game 4-3 after this victory tonight. 3 points for Patrick Kane. 3 points for Brent Seabrook. 16 saves for Corey Crawford, who moves his record to 3-2. The Hawks record moves to 4-3. As they salute and say thank you to their loyal fans.
Time to announce tonight's 3 stars of the game, brought to you by Bud Light. The number 3 star of the game from the Blackhawks with his 3rd goal of the season, number 15, Artem Anisimov. The number 2 star of the game from the Blackhawks with 1 goal and 2 assists, number 88, Patrick Kane. And the number 1 star of the game from the Blackhawks with 1 goal and 2 assists, number 7, Brent Seabrook. Please turn your attention to the Blackhawks bench, where Chuck Garfien is with tonight's number 1 star of the game, Brent Seabrook.
Thank you, Gene. Let's begin with the game-winning goal to start the 3rd period. The pass you had to Kane, splitting 2 defenders. Take us through it.
That was something we worked on in practice yesterday, and you know, it's a tough play. Sometimes they don't have holes like that, and lucky enough, Kaner found a good spot, and I was just able to hit him, and he made a great play, and was able to score.
This is the first game without Duncan Keith. He misses like 1 game every 10 years. How big of an adjustment is it not having him in there, and how did the D play here tonight?
Oh, it's tough. He's a world-class player. He's one of the best defensemen in the league, if not the best defenseman in the league. So anytime you lose a guy like that, you know, it's definitely going to hurt. But I think the D did a great job tonight working as a unit out there. Our forwards did a good job at back check and helping us out. Crow was huge in net tonight, so it was a real team effort.
3 points for you, 3 points for Kane. How good has Kane been so far this season?
He's been unbelievable. He's a world-class player, and he's shown it early on here. He's one of the best players in the league, and it's fun to watch him when he's got the puck on his stick.
Thank you very much, Brent.
Brent Seabrook
your number one star of the night.